As I said in my Blue Eyes review, we're going back to yet another Dual Monsters archetype. Well, it originated from Dual Monsters, but you see the Red Eyes archetype, which is our today's topic, is the first archetype ever to be used in 2 animes by 2 different users. First by Genucci in the Dual Monsters and Fubuki in GX. Yes, as the Blue Eyes archetype on both are based on a normal monster. And that monster in today's video is the one and only Red Eyes Black Dragon. A level 7 vanilla monster. Yes, it's worse than Blue Eyes. Well, it is because the outside support it gets is the Sacred Sword of the 7 stars for the draw power, not trade-in, which banishes the monster instead of sending it to the graveyard. And I'm kind of against the banishing because, yeah, it's harder to retrieve them later since burial from the different dimension happens to be limited. So yeah, I'm not a fan of this archetype's level. However, they have an archetypal consistency boosting card that helps wonderfully with this. So yeah, let's get to it and get on to their next card, which is the ever so infamous Red Eyes Black Chick, which was renamed later to Black Dragon's Chick. It's a level 1 dragon type monster, and it says, you can send this face-up card you control to the graveyard to special summon 1 Red Eyes Black Dragon from your hand. Well, this is an archetypal Kaiba Man, and it works wonderfully better because it's a level 1, so it can be searchable by 1 for 1. Unlike Kaiba Man, who is a level 3 for some goddamn reason. And it has higher stats than Kaiba Man, yeah. The only thing I would improve here is making it a tuner so it can be a target for cards of consonance. And that would make it an inherently good consistency booster. So yeah, that is Black Dragon's Chick, and next up is the Black Stone of Legend, which is the archetypal version of White Stone of Legend. And it says, you can tribute this card, special summon 1 level 7 or lower Red Eyes monster from your deck except Red Eyes Black Chick. Figures. If this card is in your graveyard, you can target 1 level 7 or lower Red Eyes monster in your graveyard except Red Eyes Black Chick, shuffle it into the deck, and if you do, add this card to your hand. You can only use the 1 Black Stone of Legend effect per turn, and only once that turn. If you remember the White Stone of Legend from the Blue Eyes review, yeah, it had a really slow search effect, which only worked in tandem with cards of consonance very limitedly. But this is actually a really nice improvement over that. It's not a once per turn tribute. Oh, actually it is. It's a tribute effect that allows for a Red Eyes monster from the deck, any except Red Eyes Black Chick, obviously. And it allows a recovery effect by acting like a Transmigration Prophecy effect. I'd say always run 3. I haven't got anything else to say about this. It's awesome. Alright, their next card is Black Metal Dragon, another level 1 dragon, and you can target 1 Red Eyes monster you control, equip this monster from your hand or field to the target, it gains 600 attack, and if this card is sent from the field to the graveyard, you can add 1 Red Eyes card from your deck to your hand. An archetypal Rider of the Storm Winds, but 10 times better. For one, it gives attack boost, which is something Red Eyes highly appreciate, and it has a search effect when it's sent to the graveyard, which is amazing. Any Red Eyes card which searches out literally anything, literally the entire archetype, I'd say run 3 at all times. Alright, next up is Red Eyes Baby Dragon, a level 3 with 1200 attack, and when this card is destroyed by battle and sent to the graveyard, you can special summon 1 level 7 or lower Red Eyes monster from your deck. And if you do, equip this card from your graveyard to it. It gains 300 attack, and if it's sent to the graveyard while equipped to a monster, you can add 1 level 1 dragon type monster from your deck or graveyard to your hand. So this is an archetypal retrain of Baby Dragon, because Baby Dragon was used by Genucci. And yeah, there will be also many more of these archetypal retrains of other cards. But yeah, this is actually somewhat of a decent effect. It lets you recycle your level 1 monsters, Red Eyes Black Chick. And yeah, it also works on Red Eyes Black Chick, Black Metal Dragon, and Black Stone of Legend. So yeah, I'd say run 2 because it can get cloggy at times. Their next monster is the level 4 Red-Eyes Wyvern. During your end phase, if you did not normal summon or set a monster this turn, you can banish this card from your graveyard, special summon 1 Red-Eyes monster from your graveyard except Red-Eyes Black Chick. This is slow, I agree, but yeah, it requires you to pay your normal summon for this effect to go off, and it requires graveyard setup. I'd say don't run it. It's just not worth it. However, it's a really good beater. It's a wind attribute for some reason, even though all of them are dark attributes. I do not know. I run it if you feel like it. I personally do not feel like it. Their next monster is the Red-Eyes Retro Dragon. If a level 7 or lower Red-Eyes monsters you control is destroyed by your opponent's attack or card effect and sent to the graveyard, while this card is in your hand, you can special summon this card in defense position. And if you do, special summon as many of those destroyed monsters as possible in the same position they were when they were destroyed. You can tribute this card. You can normal summon 1 Red-Eyes monster from during your main phase this turn in addition to your normal summon or set. You only gain this effect once per turn. So it's an archetypal Astrograph sorcerer, which is interesting. Wow. It lets, if you suffer from a mirror force while this card is in your hand, you can like continue your battle phase. You can even boost up your other battle damage if you have delivered some already. I'd say you definitely run this one 3 at all times. And yeah, the bonus summon, double summon effect is also nice, so again, definitely run this one. Their next card is Gearfried the Red-Eyes Iron Knight. So it's an archetypal retrain of Gearfried the Iron Knight, yeah, since Janucci used that. Once per turn, if either player equips an equip card to this card, you can destroy those equip cards. Then you can destroy 1 spell or trap your opponent controls. Once per turn, you can send 1 equip card you control that is equipped to this card to the graveyard and target 1 level 7 or lower Red-Eyes monster in your graveyard, special summon it. Okay, the popping effect is nice, but the real meat is distributing the equip spell in order to get a Red-Eyes monster back from the graveyard. However, Red-Eyes archetype does not have any equip spells, which is kind of funny, since they have a card of this caliber. Maybe they were begging for Gearfried the Iron Knight retrain, so they splash it into the Red-Eyes builds. I don't know, but what should I say? God damn it, I forget to speak. My suggestions, that's what sometimes I get blocked like this and I cannot find any other words to say. My suggestions personally would be what's it called, Black Pendant, and I think Lucky Iron Axe can get it. No, it requires the opponent's card effect for its effect to go off and draw 1 card. But I definitely say the Black Pendant, so you can burn your opponent constantly while searching through your stuff. Run 2 because it can get cloggy at times. Their next monster is Red-Eyes Archfiend of Lightning, a Fiend Gemini monster with the effect, once per turn you can destroy all face-up monsters your opponent controls with defense lower than this card's attack. If you did not notice yet, this is an archetypal retrain of Summoned Skull, yes, but yeah, the effect is okay. It kind of works like an archetypal Burst Breath, even though this is a Fiend monster, but since it's a Gemini monster, I would say run 2 because it can get cloggy at sometimes. So yeah, I got nothing else pretty much to say about here, so yeah, let's get on to the next monster, which is the Meteor Dragon Red-Eyes Impact. A Dragon Gemini monster, also a level 6, and with this effect. Other Red-Eyes monsters you control cannot be destroyed by battle or card effects. This is actually pretty insane protection. This is, as you notice, the archetypal retrain of Meteor Dragon, and if that sounds weird to you, I'll get to it later why they retrained this to the Red-Eyes, but this is actually an insane amount of protection here. Even and they have, since Red-Eyes have access to Master Key Beetle, you can Xyz summon it and use its effect to protect Meteor Dragon Red-Eyes from being destroyed by being destroyed by card effects. Battle still applies though. So yeah, I'd say run at all times 2. 2 is an optimal amount, but you can actually throw splash in 3 because they have a pretty decent fusion monster to come out of this. So yeah, next monster is Red-Eye's Black Flare Dragon. A Dragon Gemini monster, 1 level higher. This is an archetypal Gemini retrain of Red-Eye's Black Dragon. And it has the effect of, if damage calculation is performed involving this card, at the end of the battle phase, you can inflict damage to your opponent equal to this card's original attack. You can only use this effect, Red-Eye's Black Flare Dragon, once per turn. So this is a retrain of Red-Eye's Black Dragon with the built-in effect of their later spell card, which is really nice. I'd say, and it is summonable by their later Xyz monster, which I'll get into later. So I'd say definitely run this one 3 at all times because it's an excellent target for some of their later spell cards. Alright, their next monster, it's Red-Eye's Black Metal Dragon. Cannot be normal summoned or set, must first be special summoned from your deck by tributing 1 Red-Eye's Black Dragon equipped with Metal Morph. Okay, Metal Morph is an unsearchable trap card. This is a piece of shit if I ever saw any, so let's move on. Red-Eye's Darkness Dragon. This card is insane. Cannot be normal summoned or set, must be special summoned from your hand by tributing 1 Red-Eye's Black Dragon and cannot be special summoned by other ways. This card gains 300 attack for each dragon type monster in your graveyard. So yeah, this card can get to some insane attack values because Red-Eyes have access to a lot of graveyard setup, if I ever saw any. And yeah, having other dragon type monsters, since Future Fusion is back, you can kind of set up the graveyard for 5-headed dragon and then go into this and it'll have some insane attack values. However, he is at all points outclassed by another Red-Eyes card, which is a really good one because it's limited, and that is of course the legendary Red-Eyes Darkness Metal Dragon. You can special summon this card from your hand by banishing 1 face-up dragon type monster you control. Once per turn you can special summon 1 dragon type monster from your hand or graveyard except Red-Eye's Darkness Metal Dragon. It's a level 10, so it's a really, and it has some neat special summoning conditions, so it can prove worthy in some rank 10 builds, but this is actually a really insane effect. I'd say run at all times, you know, at 1 because it's limited. But I don't know if it's limited in the OCG as well. I only pay attention to the TCG ban list and news and all that. But I think it's limited in the OCG as well because that effect is just so insane that it's powerful at all calibers. I'd say run it always in any build. Alright, time for the ritual monsters, and first is the Paladin of Dark Dragon, which is the archetypal version of Paladin of White Dragon. It has the same effects as everything, has the Red-Eye summoning effect from hand or deck, and yeah, it's basically the same thing with as Paladin of White Dragon. However, the ritual spell card that is used to summon him is actually better than the Blue Eyes one, and I'll get into that later. And their final main deck monster is the level 7 Lord of the Red. And now you can ritual summon this card with Red-Eye's Transmigration. Once per turn during either player's turn when a card or effect is activated except Lord of the Red, you can target one monster on the field, destroy it. Once per turn during either player's turn, when a card or effect is activated except Lord of the Red, you can target 1 spell or trap card on the field, destroy it. This is a double removal effect and a really good one. However, it does not negate, and that is my biggest gripe with this card. If it negated, it would be much more useful, and it would actually, it's a level 8, so you can summon this easily with Red-Eyes and one of their level 1 monsters. And yeah, I said to Chaos Max Dragon in my previous review that it's a wasted opportunity in comparison to this card, because in the anime Junichi used this card to kind of get this Red-Eyes armor onto himself when he was dueling against WYVERN, and this is actually it would have been really cool to see Kaiba in the Blue Eyes armor, just like Lord of the Red. It would actually sell really well. Lord of the Blue. It would have somewhat of a more competitive effect instead of this one. But like I said, Red Eyes did this and has this ritual monster that is absolutely amazing in terms of, it shows how the protagonist is, well, not the protagonist, the character is connected to his monster, and Lord of the Blue would be really nice to have been seen with Kaibans. Shamefully we got Chaos Max Dragon, which is not like a support card for a Blue Eye, since it also works with Black Luster Soldier as well. But anyway, Lord of the Red, lore-wise, is really awesome, and yeah, the effect is tolerable. It's a multi-removal effect, however it does not negate, so that is not something that is kind of something that is not desired that much. But anyway, here are two. Now it's on to the extra deck monster, and first up we have Black Skull Dragon and Meteor Black Dragon. Why am I showing you these two? They have 3,500 attack, the Meteor Black Dragon, and Black Skull Dragon has 3,200 attack. They're vanilla monsters, and yeah, I'm showing you these. They're indirect Red Eye support, but I'm showing you them because they are summonable with one of their spell cards later. They both have retrains, and they are entirely outclassed by them. The retrain of the Black Skull Dragon is Archfiend Black Skull Dragon, and it requires one level 6 Archfiend normal monster and one Red Eyes normal monster. So it's kind of like Red Eyes Black Dragon and Archfiend Skull of Lightning. And you can special summon one Archfiend Black Skull Dragon once per turn, so you cannot summon more of them on the same turn. If this card battles, your opponent cards and effects cannot be activated until the end of the damage step. If damage calculation is performed involving this fusion summon card, at the end of the battle phase, you can target one Red Eyes normal monster in your graveyard, inflict damage to your opponent equal to its attack in the graveyard, then shuffle it into the deck. An archetypal transmigration prophecy with a burn effect and such nice recovery that it hurts. And it also has some stun effects for card effects, which is amazing. This card is so amazing, and there's a fusion spell card that helps this card helps this card so much. I'd say run it at all times 2. He is best run at 2 max, at least in my opinion. The retrain of the Meteor Black Dragon is Meteor Black Comet Dragon. It requires one level 7 Red Eyes monster and one level 6 Dragon type monster. That is the retrain of Meteor Dragon, the level 6 Dragon type monster. If this card is fusion summoned, you can send one Red Eyes monster from your hand or deck to the graveyard, and if you do, inflict damage to your opponent equal to half the original attack of that monster. If this card is sent from the monster zone to the graveyard, you can target one normal monster in your graveyard, special summon it. So it's kind of a recovery if it gets destroyed, but the burn effect is also kind of nice because it's an archetypal Foolish Burial, which is amazing. I'd say definitely run a 3 at all times because, yeah, like I said, the Red Eyes have a lot of graveyard setup access, and this is one of them. Next up is Red Eyes Slash Dragon. It requires a specifically Red Eyes Black Dragon and one Warrior type monster. So yeah, you need to use Gearfried Red Eyes Iron Knight. And when a Red Eyes monster declares an attack, you can target one Warrior monster in your graveyard, equip it to this card as an equip spell with this effect. The equipped monster gains 200 attack. Genius. When a card or effect is activated that targets a card you control, quick effect, you can send one equipped card you control to the graveyard, negate the activation, and if you do, destroy that card. If this card is destroyed by a battle or a card effect, you can special summon as many monsters from your graveyard as possible that were equipped to this card. Okay, the recovery effect is a bit too specific since you won't be using it that much, but that kind of helps out with the fact that this card has somewhat of an interesting protection ability in comparison to Power Tool Dragon. This card in fact is really similar, yeah, to the Power Tool Dragon. So yeah, I'd say run it 2 because it can get cloggy at times, and you won't have that many warrior type monsters in your build, except, you know, the Red Eyes version of the Gearfried. I believe that is their final fusion monster. Oh wait, this one is still remaining. The latest enemy pull is the Red Eyes Black Dragon Sword. A dragon monster has the same stats as Red Eyes and even the level, and must be fusion summoned with Claw of Hermos using a dragon type monster. If this card is special summoned, target one other face-up monster on the field, equip this card to it, and it gains 1000 attack and 500 attack and defense for each dragon type monster on the field and in the graveyard. Okay, just to point this out, the Claw of Hermos is an unsearchable yet so gimmicky spell card. And running this, yeah, you can get some really insane number of dragon type monsters in your graveyard with this, but it's just not worth it. I mean, no, it's just not worth it. I'd say avoid this if you want. I'd say run it if you only feel like it. Alright, their final extra deck monster is their Xyz monster, Red Eyes Flare Metal Dragon. Now, unlike Legendary Dragon of Blue, this one has a few uses and it's far better than it actually. Requires 2 level 7 monsters, so it's completely generic, and cannot be destroyed by card effects while it has Xyz material. While this card has Xyz material, each time your opponent activates a card or effect, inflict 500 damage to your opponent immediately after it resolves. Once per turn during either player's turn, you can detach 1 Xyz material from your graveyard and target 1 Red Eyes normal monster in your graveyard, special summon it. A quick play Monster Reborn, archetypal Monster Reborn is always nice. The burn effect is kind of mediocre because you will most likely use those Xyz materials right away. Except if this effect wasn't present, it cannot be destroyed by card effects while it has Xyz materials, you would actually want to keep at least one still active and use it as an emergency. But I say this is actually an insanely good card. I'd say run 3 at all times. And that was it for the monsters. Now it's time for the spell cards, and now it's time for the first ritual spell cards, which I can skip over very easily, vaguely easily I should say. Dark Dragon Ritual is used to summon Paladin of the Dark Dragon, has absolutely the same effect tech as the White Dragon, except it's better. During your main phase, except the turn this card was sent to the graveyard, you can banish this card from your graveyard, add 1 Red Eye spell trap card from your deck to your hand. Why didn't the Blue Eyes did the same thing? This is good. This is actually better. This actually warrants running the Paladin of Dark Dragon even more because of this search effect. Run always. That's what I tell you. Next up is Red Eye's Transmigration. It is used to summon Lord of the Red, and you must also tribute monster from your hand or field, and banish Red Eye's monsters from your graveyard, except Red Eye's Black Chick, of course, whose total level equal 8. Yeah, it's a full-on archetypal ritual spell, unlike Chaos Form, which also works on Black Luster soldiers. But yeah, if you're running Lord of the Red, you can go without this one. Their next spell is an insanely good one, Red Eyes Fusion. Fusion summon 1 fusion monster that lists a Red Eyes monster as material from your extra deck, using monsters from your hand, deck, or field as fusion materials. And if you do, its name becomes Red Eyes Black Dragon. You cannot normal or special summon other monsters the turn you activate this effect. You can only activate 1 Red Eyes Fusion per turn. An archetypal future fusion that is instant. Yeah, it's limited to once per turn, but I still cannot describe to you how well this card design was. It is. You can go without this if you're running Archfiend Black Skull Dragon. That card is just so good, and when works in tandem with this card so well that it hurts. Plus, the design they did for polymerization here is insanely unique, and I love it so much. Run 3 at all times. Their next card is Cards of the Red Stone. Send 1 level 7 Red Eyes monster from your hand to the graveyard, draw 2 cards. Then you can send 1 level 7 Red Eyes monster from your deck to your graveyard. You can only activate 1 Cards of the Red Stone once per turn. So it's an archetypal trade-in and a Foolish Burial in one. Consistency out the ass, ladies and gentlemen. That's how an archetype's consistency is formed. This is it. Always run 3. Everything I say about this archetype is just so good. It's way better than Blue Eyes up until this point. I'd say run 3 at all times again. Next card is Infernal Fire Blast, an all-time favorite. Target 1 Red Eyes Black Dragon in your monster zone. Inflict damage to your opponent equal to its original attack. Red Eyes Black Dragon cannot attack in the turn you activate this effect. So this is kind of a counterpart to Burst Stream of Destruction. Some sort of a mediocre comeback enabler. Well, 2400 is more than enough to finish off limping opponents, so yeah, that's always a nice. Run 2 because it can get cloggy at times. Their next card is Red-Eye's Insight, a counterpart to Majesty with the Eyes of Blue. Has the same activation condition, but a different effect. Add one Red-Eye spell or trap card from your deck to your hand except Red-Eye's Insight. You can only activate one of them per turn. Again, this is actually good. This is way better than Majesty of the Eyes of Blue because the stun effect is kind of irrelevant on that one because self-bouncing is kind of a thing with Mist Valleys and they have Divine Wind is limited, so yeah, it can... Yeah, and so the opponent will most likely self-bounce a monster and then resummon it again. But yeah, the searching is more appealing to me than stun effects, in my opinion. Always run 3 Red-Eye's Insights. It's also a foolish burial. So yeah, their first trap card is Red-Eye's Burn. If a face-up Red-Eyes monster you control except Red-Eye's Black Chick is destroyed by battle or card effect, target one of those monsters. Both players take damage equal to its original attack. You can only activate one Red-Eye's Burn per turn. So yeah, another mediocre burn effect. It requires battle destruction or card effect destruction to work. And you might as well be running Inferno Fire Blast at that point. But again, it can save you from a pickle, and it can even... If you're losing, it can actually get you a draw if the duel was intense enough. Their next card is Red-Eye Spirit. Target one Red-Eyes monster in your graveyard except Red-Eyes Black Chick. Special summon it. Unique archetypal monster reborn. And if the Red-Eyes Black Flare Metal Dragon is not available at the moment, it's really nice. So yeah, run 3 at all times. Next up is the archetypal retrain of Kunai with Chain, which is a staple in Janucci's deck in Dual Monsters, and that is Red-Eye's Fang with Chain. Target one Red-Eyes monster you control, equip this card to it. It can make up to 2 attacks on monsters during each battle phase. You can send this equipped card to the graveyard and target one effect monster in the field. Equip that target to the monster this card is equipped to, and if you do, while a monster is equipped to this card by this effect, its attack and defense become equal to the original attack and defense of the equipped monster. So yeah, this is actually nice. 2 attacks per turn? Hell yeah. Even with Red-Eyes, and it... So yeah, I would say run 2 because it also can get a bit cloggy. Sometimes a bit too cloggy, so I'd say run 1 actually. Alright, and their final card is Return of the Red-Eyes, their only continuous trap card. Alright, if you control a Red-Eyes monster, except Red-Eyes Black Chick of course, figures, you can target one normal monster in your graveyard, special summon it. If this card is in your possession is destroyed by an opponent's card effect and sent to the graveyard, you can target one Red-Eyes monster in your graveyard, except Red-Eyes Black Chick, special summon it. You can only use this each effect of Red-Eyes, Return of the Red-Eyes once per turn. So yeah, this is kind of an archetypal birthright, a continuous one with a utility recovery effect, so a punishment for destroying this is another special summon. So yeah, I definitely say run 3. And yeah. So yeah, we are done with Red-Eyes. Wow. I've been recording for almost a half an hour, but I blazed through this literally. I've never seen such a big archetype complemented so well, so let's get on with those grades, shall we? Consistency. The amount of consistency this archetype offers is so insane that it hurts. An archetypal Foolish Burial and Trade-In in one package is nothing to scoff at, and the amount of graveyard setup they offer is amazing, which makes wonders with Soul Charge. So I'm gonna slap a definite 3 out of 3 in consistency. Now power is a bit lower than the Blue Eyes because it primarily depends on their fusion monsters and sometimes, but it's never a problem, so I'm gonna give it a 2 out of 3. Now, comeback ability, look, they have lots of graveyard setup and Soul Charge is a thing, so yeah, I'm gonna give it a 3 out of 3 there. Protection, 2 out of 3. Well, the retrain of Meteor Dragon is actually really nice, and they have access to Master Key Beetle, so yeah, definite 2 out of 3. Versatility, absolute 3 out of 3 because they can pull off such insane chaos builds with dragons and all that, and 5-headed dragon and OTKs and everything. They are just so insane that it hurts. Well, yeah, like I said, to me, Red Eyes Archetype is way better than Blue Eyes, and this video just proves that. And I hope some of my future archetypes that I'm going to review are just exactly as good as this one, and even better in my opinion. And now, as for the next archetype, it's not gonna be a Duel Monsters archetype. I think this was my last Duel Monsters archetype I'm gonna tackle in this season. So we're going back to the spin-offs. Yay! Alright, so thank you all so much for watching. Stay tuned for more Red's workers and updates, comment, like, and subscribe. And as usual, I'll upload the next part whenever I can. See you all, and see you in the next review. Have a good day, and peace.